what to do with the curious case of Nathan Kreuger at the Collingwood Football Club in this off-season. That's exactly what we're going to tackle right now. Nathan Kreuger has played 15 games in 4 years and has kicked 7 goals in his 6 games for Collingwood at AFL level in 2024, with the occasional pinch hitting in the ruck to alleviate some stress for Darcy Cameron. His best game this year was against the D's. He'd kicked 3 goals, took a nice specky in a really, impressive sequence from end to end where we kicked a really nice goal. Krueger finished that nice work that Oscar Elliott did on the wing with that specky. So that was probably his most notable game. We said, hold on, okay, maybe Krueger can fulfill this second to third key tall forward role that Collingwood always seem to be chasing after and looking for that. It seems like the position that's just evaded us for a long time. And with Dan McStay coming into the forefront of this conversation late in the year, it's sort of shaken up a few things. So we'll get into that now. What is the problem with Nathan Kreuger? I think one of the things is, the obvious one is that injuries have curtailed his career for the most part. And then when he's not in the AFL, he's not necessarily lighting up the VFL. And you do have to warrant your position at AFL level by performing in the VFL. And this year he kicked 6 goals in 6 games, whereas last year he had 24 goals in 13 games. So it's not necessarily glaring. It's not like, wow, he's tearing it apart and definitely proves that he's at AFL level. The issue is this year at VFL level, there's been no continuity because of what's happened in the AFL. Therefore, you almost feel like you're running on the park with a bunch of lads who have just come together and they're just having a kick about. And that affects the synergy in the team significantly. I think we can all agree to that. And when the ball is not moving well across the field, the forwards unfortunately probably get hurt the most and find themselves out of the game. And it doesn't even give someone like Krueger a chance to create a ruckus at ground level, because we know that he does that very well. And we've seen that in the off-season, pre-season, we've seen that at VFL level, and we've seen that at AFL level. I mean, what did he average tackles-wise? He averaged a tackle inside 50 per game, which is top 10 amongst key tall forwards for Mr. Nathan Kreuger, which is a nice stat to have tied to your name when you're 6'5" and doing the dirty work, and really, I guess, talks about the Collingwood way, and Nathan Kreuger certainly embodies that. So that's a big tick across his name. His, willingness to just be a pest for the opposition. Not only is he going to give you trouble in the air, he gives you trouble at ground level. The other problem is we have players in the rumour mill that are potentially going to be at Collingwood next year, specifically Jake Stringer and potentially someone like Tim Membry. That will clearly affect what type of input Krueger can have at AFL level next year, because if either of those lads are playing good footy, Krueger will definitely be on the outer. When you've got Brodie Myercheck, Dan McStay, Membry or Stringer, and then you've got to try fit in all the other general forwards like Bobby, Billy, Bo, Lockie, you're not fitting Nathan Kreuger into that lineup just yet. I mean, McStay and Myercheck, they're getting on a little bit. They're a little bit older. Stringer and Membry aren't that much younger. So while we're in this win now phase, Krueger will probably be out of favour if he continues to pursue this forward line opportunity. But because he's only 25, if he's willing to be patient, and this goes into the solution of the current issue that we're dealing with when it comes to Kruegs, is if he's willing to persevere and trust his body and get it right and compete at the VFL level and really damage that stat sheet goals-wise, then there's opportunity later down the track. I can't say there's an opportunity for him in 2025, barring injuries or a Myercheck out of form, which is just extremely unlikely, right? But I just think Myercheck and Nathan Kreuger are most like for like. I wouldn't be swapping out an out-of-form McStay for a Nathan Kreuger, for example. So that is the least likely of solutions, right? Along with the fact that if he stays, he's going to have to bide his time in the VFL. The other one is, can we try Kruegs in the backline? I just think we're not doing the man justice and the football club justice if we don't try him as that second string defender to help out Darcy Moore. He gives me Nathan Murphy vibes through and through. So what does it hurt if we give him another year and throw him to the Wolves in a backline in the off-season / pre-season and see whether he thrives? Because whenever I've gone to the off-seasons and the pre-seasons, I've seen Krueger play in the forward line. So I don't know if it doesn't seem like he's been tried in the back line. So why not turn over that stone and see if there is that aptitude that is there, that is already pre-existing. And there are characteristics like that bruteness and being a dirty player and just putting your head over the ball. He possesses all those characteristics, which is important when you are that guy who is crash and bash in the back line to allow someone like Darcy Moore to intercept. The next part of this conversation is what is last resort in this case. I've got two options, two routes we can go. One is, do we trade Krueger to someone like Melbourne perhaps, who are looking for a forward to try and establish themselves and get a third rounder in return? Or can we package up Krueger to Essendon to get someone like Laverde or help us get that Jake Stringer trade over the line? Or even a Denver Granger Barras packaging, a Denver Granger Barras from Hawthorn, who is a young up-and-coming key tall defender behind players like Josh Battle, Tom Barras, Sam Frost. Can we bundle Krueger into that with a second rounder to get someone who was a previous top 10 pick in Granger Barras? Is that something we should consider? Or do we see not enough value and give full autonomy to Krueger and delist him and give him the best opportunity to go exactly where he wants to go as he pleases? That's the burning question. I would hate to see Kreugs delisted, but the reality is we do have to make space on our list. We currently sit at 43 players on our list, which is including Category A rookies and Category B rookies, the maximum limit being 44, barring injury replacements and whatnot. So that's where we're at right now. So if we are looking to bring in at least 2 players plus a draft pick, we probably need to delist another 2 players by the sounds of it. Does that make sense to you guys who are quite familiar with how the whole draft and trade process looks? Looking at the list, that's what it seems like to me. And somebody's going to have to get the short end of the stick. I would hate for it to be Nathan Kreuger. I think it would be better off to delist Jack Bytel and Lockie Sullivan and then draft a midfielder with pick 30, pick 20 or pick 26 that we get from Noble or something like that. And then pick 32, we can get a key forward or use them for trades as well. So that's my thought process behind this rolling situation. What are your thoughts in the comment section? You guys know I love Krueger and I think we need to give him a little bit more, but some of you do not share the same opinion. Let me know. Go Pies.